Hi, Bonnie here with Prayas Gifts, and I'm really excited today to talk to you about some things I learned in Proverbs that I think will help us over the holidays dealing with foolish people. Because during the holidays, we're going to be going to parties and dinners, and people will show up, and some of them are bound to be foolish. So I've learned some things in Proverbs on how to deal with foolish people and how to avoid being one. So let's get right into it. First of all, foolish people are prideful and arrogant. They think highly of themselves and look down on others. Proverbs 3:7, they're wise in their own eyes. Proverbs 14:3, they speak pridefully and boastfully. They're going to be sure to tell you that you're wrong. They're going to not pay any attention to what you say. They're going to scorn it. They're going to be telling you what to do all the time. So these people are difficult to deal with. But Proverbs also gives us some clues on it. First of all, Proverbs 10:31, don't listen to them. Don't let their words impact you. Don't let it have any impact on your emotions and give them no power over how you feel or how you respond. Proverbs 12:16, ignore their insults. It's to your glory to ignore their insults. The other thing about fools is they're going to get angry and they're going to argue. There's probably more passages in Proverbs about fools arguing and being angry than any other characteristics of foolish people. Proverbs 10:12, they're going to stir up hatred. They will definitely bring out the worst in us. They're going to speak rashly without thinking. They're going to talk too much and say the wrong things. Proverbs 13:3, they're going to get angry quickly. Proverbs 14:29, they're going to make us angry. Proverbs 15:1, they're willfully contrary. They're going to disagree just for the sake of disagreeing. Proverbs 15:4, Proverbs 18:2, they don't want to try to understand your viewpoint, your way of thinking. They just want to air off their own opinions and show off their own knowledge. Proverbs 18:8, they're going to gossip. Proverbs 23, every fool will quarrel. So we need to be sure we're not a fool and we're not quarreling. So how do we deal with these angry, argumentative people? Proverbs 14:4 has great advice. Avoid them. Avoid what God defines as evil, evil people and evil paths. So what that means, if you hear a big argument going on in the living room, don't go in the living room. If you hear people gossiping in the kitchen, don't go in the kitchen. Now, to avoid all the fools, you might just have to go to the bathroom and be all by yourself. But at least there won't be any fools in there. So stay away from foolish people and try to stay around wise people. During the holidays, try to identify who's wise, who follows God, who obeys God, and who's full of His Spirit. And usually, you're going to find wise people are older. They're older people because wisdom takes time to learn. So find some older people and hang out with them. The other thing about foolish people is you will not be able to tell them anything. They don't listen and they can't be corrected. Proverbs 1:22, they hate knowledge. Proverbs 1:24, they refuse to listen. Proverbs 9, they don't accept correction or rebuke. If you try to, they will hate you. Proverbs 7 and 8. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 7 and 8. Proverbs 23, they're going to despise godly wisdom and scoff at sacred things. So how do you deal with fools who don't listen? Well, Proverbs 10:19, so wise, don't talk. They're not going to listen. You don't need to talk. The wise restrain their lips. If you have to listen, don't internalize what they're saying. We already talked about that. Don't let their words impact you. Proverbs 9:7, don't try to correct or rebuke them. Again, you might just have to go to the bathroom. Okay, another thing about fools, they're lazy. They sleep too much. That's in Proverbs 6, Proverbs 18:9, Proverbs 19:15, and Proverbs 19:24. Proverbs 18:9 also says they're loose and slack in their work. Proverbs 26:6, you can't trust them to do important tasks. They're either too lazy to do it at all or not diligent enough to do it well. Proverbs 26:13, they will always have an excuse for their laziness. So how do you deal with this during the holidays? Well, don't let them bring anything to the dinner that's important. Don't let them bring the appetizers because they're going to be late and make excuses. Don't let them bring the turkey. For goodness sake, you won't have a main course. And don't expect them to help with anything. Don't depend on them. It's only going to be a disappointment. So you just need to, when you're making a list of who's going to do what, put the people who are foolish and lazy off to the side somewhere. Okay, The other thing about foolish people, they're indulgent. They like to eat too much and drink too much. So you are going to have to kind of watch out for that during the holiday dinners. I don't know how you're going to keep people from eating and drinking too much, but that could happen with fools. Maybe don't let them go first in the food line because they're going to take all the good stuff. They're probably going to want to eat dessert right away. Maybe at a certain point, take the wine bottles and hide them, put them away if somebody's overindulging in alcohol. Another thing about foolish people, they're good with evil. They like evil. They're open to all forms of evil in Proverbs 9:13. They look to the world for advice, not to God, not to his word, Proverbs 17:24. And if justice is done, if God has done something that we would consider justice, they will consider it dismay, calamity, and ruin. So now how do you deal with people who are just good with evil? They just like it. I think Jesus here gives us the best advice. We need to love them. We need to pray for them. And apart from Christ, we can't do any of this. So we do need to ask that God would open their eyes, that he would give us a supernatural love for them, and then do everything you can to show Christ's love to these people. In summary, we will have to ask God for the wisdom to deal with these foolish people and not to be one ourselves. So I do have a complete write-up on how to deal with foolish people. If you'd like that, just direct message me or send an email to prayhousegifts@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great holiday season.